thanks so much for being here on this webinar. Most of you know me, Jesse Lipscomb. I'm licensed by the IRS as an enrolled agent as well as an investment advisor in California. I specialize in tax return-based financial planning, very specifically tax planning for real estate agents, real estate investors, and small business owners. We're now talking small business owners and how they're impacted by the stimulus. The way I see it, you're one of three types of small business owners. You're either full-on self-employed 1099, like a real estate agent, or you then incorporate your business. And if you've incorporated your business and started paying yourself salary, or if you haven't, it will dictate whether or not you're eligible for any of these programs. So let's dive into it right now. Very specifically, the SBA has two programs under the Keeping American Workers Paid and Employed Act. Okay, initially, the 7 Bravo, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, we looked at that and we thought that was wonderful. We thought that, that was a quick and easy $10,000 advance. You just had to apply in the SBA website. Well, you know what? That's not true. It's now capped at $1,000 per employee. And in fact, the SBA sent out this email, okay, it said, oh, yeah, the law says a $10,000 advance. By the way, this is what the law says. It's an emergency grant of up to $10,000 that's supposed to be paid out within 3 days of application, and you don't have to pay it back even if you're subsequently denied for a loan, or if you are approved for the loan, if you use it for payroll, rent, operating expenses, you're fine. The only thing is you can't double dip it with a payroll protection loan. Another way of understanding this, the payroll protection loan, which you don't apply for through the SBA, you go through either a bank or an SBA lender, it's all about your payroll. If you paid payroll salaries in 2019, then you can get up to 2.5 times your payroll. And so I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but we're trying to give the information we need to cover this effectively. It's up to 2.5 times of your average monthly salaries. You can get up to $25,000 even without collateral, and so long as you use it to pay payroll, rent, and utilities, it's forgivable. Okay. Now, what's interesting, going back to the 7 Bravo, it was supposed to be real easy to apply for. There was a COVID-19 relief right there on the SBA's website. Okay, here they're going to talk about, look at this, right now, it's unable to accept new applications. Isn't that crazy? It was on a first-come, first-served basis. Today's the 16th of April. I applied for my company on the 30th of March, and would you believe I actually received it this morning via direct deposit. And you might say to yourself, hey, Jesse, well, how much did you get? Did you get $10,000? No. I have 2 employees, and I got $2,000. And that's going to go towards rent. And because it's going to go towards rent, that'll be forgivable when we do the roadmap taxes next year. But as we go to the payroll protection, this, as of today, this is from the CEO of Chase Bank, it is also out of money. Okay? If you've applied for it, you're in the queue, but there's no promise that you're actually going to be given this money. I think that the best thing to do right now is apply for it if you haven't applied for it. But just in the back of your mind, know that the 2 parties in Washington need to get their acts together. I saw the last thing I saw is that they're currently in an impasse as to how to appropriate additional funding. Okay. Regarding banks and lenders, though, big banks, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, if you apply through their websites, they're going to tell you what you need. You're going to need Form W-3. A W-3 is when you have payroll. It's a recap of the W-2s that you submit. Form 940, which is an annual report, and the quarterly 941s. That's exactly what you're going to need to make it quick and easy. It's going to be based upon 2019's figures, okay? They are now also beginning to give these payroll protection loans for unincorporated self-employed people, independent contractors. You're going to end up needing the Schedule C of your 2019 Form 1040, and Cabbage is an online lender, but they say a 1040C. Nobody knows what that is. It's a Schedule C. It's where your profit and loss of your business is. So what are our options? Well, again, up until today or yesterday, you were able to get one of two loans. The $10,000 advance really wasn't a $10,000 advance. It was usually $1,000 per employee, up to 10 grand. And the payroll protection loan was 2.5 times the average salaries from last year. If you are self-employed and you're caught in a bad spot, the next step will be to apply for unemployment. Okay. Now, ordinarily, if you're self-employed, you're not eligible for unemployment benefits. I saw a post on Facebook today that California should be ready to start facilitating the pandemic unemployment assistance within 2 weeks. If we check with California's EDD, it even talks about, hey, this pandemic unemployment assistance, brand new, okay? We haven't really been set up for it in the past. But if I was you and you were in a situation where you needed it, I would first click, see that? I'd click the step-by-step chart, and you're going to want to open up a UI online account. And from there, they're going to ask you to prove your information, prove your income, etc. If you've been paying yourself W-2, if you have a corporation and you pay yourself W-2, should be pretty straightforward. If you're incorporated but you don't pay yourself a salary, you really might be in a bad spot. And if you're unincorporated, within the next couple weeks, EDD should be able to help facilitate unemployment claims. The big deal with pandemic unemployment assistance is the fact that it's giving up to another $600 a week for up to 4 months of unemployment benefits, and that's a big deal. By the way, in lieu of this link that's on this video, just Google EDD coronavirus and it'll get you there. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Pending any questions, do you guys have any questions regarding the 3 options for business owners? It's either going for pandemic unemployment or the 7 Alpha or 7 Bravo SBA loans, which both are out of money right now. Hopefully they'll be coming back shortly.
A quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, we're trying to get one of the SBA loans, and now that they're out of money, would you recommend that if they needed the money, they go and apply for the unemployment, or wait to see if the SBA loans came back before doing the unemployment?
Depends on how your cash flow is, right? So here's what we don't know. We don't know if running out of money means that SBA has actually sent money through lenders to the public, to business owners, or if lenders have submitted applications, obtained SBA guarantee codes, and just haven't yet distributed funds. Does that make sense? So with the SBA running out of money, that could be they really did run out of money, or they've run out of money that they've guaranteed, right? So,
Got it.
the easiest check is going to be this. is going to be to go to your bank, and if you have a regular bank like Chase, if they're still accepting the application and you haven't already done it, I'd do it. And if your bank isn't, like let's say you go to a local credit union that's not an SBA lender, Cabbage, I helped a couple of clients apply through Cabbage. It really wasn't all that hard. It was kind of easy. You just need to make sure you have the W-3, the 940, the 941s, and then they'll ask you for a front and back picture of your driver's license. So I would absolutely apply. Now, whether or not I would use self-employment, pandemic unemployment assistance, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? It's just understanding that a lot of people in their career will be self-employed. They'll be hit up pretty hard with self-employment taxes once they get successful. Then they'll be an S corporation, but they won't pay themselves salary. And then later they're more successful again, and they start paying themselves salary. So I think that if you are an S corp, you've got to feel good in the fact that you probably saved $5,000 or $10,000 last year in self-employment taxes, but it may prevent you from easily obtaining either the payment protection loans, because if payroll protection loans, if you don't have payroll, you're not going to get it, and it may also be difficult obtaining unemployment.
Got it. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Jess, yeah, I got something, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Is there anything that I mean, you said you kind of laid it out as like, do this one or this one or this one. What happens if somebody did all three?
All the better. I mean, I'll tell you right now what my company did. Right out of the gate, before they made changes to EIDL,
yeah,
I was like, this is a no-brainer. It's based on your credit. You get 10 grand, boom, done. And it was easy. I'm telling you, Mike, that this, and I'm just clicking on it just for fun, just to see if they put it back up or not. But now it's gone. I literally last week did 2 workshops on this, and I literally walked people through how to apply for this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I did it the day before you did.
Yeah. And it was easy. I mean, it was really easy.
Yep.
But what the SBA isn't saying is that the 7 Bravo only had $10 billion allocated from the beginning. Right. And so if we just do some crazy math, we're going to find that that's only 1 million people potentially, right? 10, that's 1 million, right? Divided by $10,000 loans, that would have only been 1 million small business owners.
Yeah.
And so that money would have gone quick.
Right.
And sure enough, it did. Regarding the 7 Alpha loan, though, I don't know, man. That's completely unacceptable, because whereas they first came out and said, oh, yeah, we're only going to give $1,000 per employee for 7 Bravo, 7 Alpha hit, and it seemed, well, it's a little bit more work, but if you prove what you need to prove, meaning W-3, 940, 941, it actually it was pretty straightforward. Yeah. But that's $349 billion that's already gone. I mean, we went through that in a week. Yeah. So to me, that's the potential scary part of the stimulus. If it's $2.3 trillion, $2.4 trillion, and the money that was allocated specifically for small business owners is already gone, I mean, 349 plus 10 is 360 billion out of 2.4 trillion. Well, where's the rest of that money going? Yeah. I don't know. So hopefully the folks in Washington do the right thing. Now, having said that, again, so that's 1, 7 Bravos, 2, 7 Alpha, 3, unemployment. If you've been paying yourself salary, that's a pretty straightforward deal. Right. And And by the way, even if you received these prior loans, if you've received a 7 Alpha or 7 Bravo loan to your company,
Yep.
that doesn't preclude you from going on unemployment.
Right.
I mean,
that's the way I read
even,
it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that I read that you couldn't do is you couldn't apply for it again once you got it. Like,
Yeah.
well, thanks, SBA. You know, I mean, so if you receive the EIDL loan, I'm going to first apply that towards rents. And the reason why, the law says you can't double dip. It says it right here. It says if an applicant receives an advance under this section, which is the emergency loan, and then you get a 7 Alpha, which is a payroll protection, it's going to negatively offset your loan forgiveness. So since the 7 Bravo can be used for rent and other obligations, materials, whatever, to your business, that's what you use these funds for.
Yeah, sure.
Right, and you allocate the payroll protection loan. I think you'll eventually get it. It's none of this stuff is, they're not asking, I mean, I guess the 7 Bravo did, it asked what are your gross revenues, but they're not asking you for profit and losses as an S Corp. They're just saying prove your payroll.
Right.
And then they're giving you 2.5 times. So I think once, if you haven't applied for this, I absolutely would.
Sure.
But then I would use that for payroll. And if you think about it, as a small business owner, you have the ability to turn around and run an annual payroll. I mean, you don't have to do it monthly.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're paying yourself on average here, we'll do some quick math. If you're paying yourself on average $5,000 a month, you know, 5,000 at 2.5, you get 12,500 from payroll protection. And you look at your calendar and you say, God, you know, my marketing is just not where I want it to be. I'm concerned about the future. Run one payroll of 12,500, you know, a week after you get the money, and then you could honestly say, you know what, my business had to lay me off and apply for unemployment benefits.
Yeah, right.
Right. So it's you know, most of us small business guys, we never even think about going on unemployment. But
Sure.
hey, you know, we got to get through this time. Especially, I don't know as real estate agents what your sales cycle is in terms of, you know, from lead to listing to close. Is that 90 days? If it is, you know, you should still be benefiting from your activities from January and February. It's June and July and August that would have me worried right now if I was you all.
Yeah.
Okay. 2020taxstimulus.com, that's going to continue to be your resource for up-to-date and insightful information, as well as a recording of these webinars. If anybody wants, you know, some one-on-one time to go over this situation, we're standing by, ready to help. In fact, actually, if we go back to the 2020 tax stimulus website, it's just, hey man, send us a message with any of your questions or thoughts. Everybody out there, take care and stay safe. And you know, once we get through this, let's get back after it, right? All right, take care. All right, bye now.